Okay, so I've decided to go ahead and do a screencast that shows how to determine whether there is a correlation between GDP for particular countries and their corresponding CO2 emissions. And we've already talked about the particular details about the GDP. I believe it's in trillions of dollars, and then the CO2 output is in millions of metric tons. So I have the GDP and the CO2 in columns A and B respectively. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and highlight the data. Then I'm going to go to Insert tab, and I'm going to click on, let's see, it's been a while since I've done this. I'm going to go to Scatter Plot. There we go. And as you can see, the data points are plotted. I'm going to make this a little larger here. And there appears to be a positive trend, right? We can visualize that using the dispersion of the points there. And what I would like to do is, let me see, I can click on Add Chart Element, go to Axis Titles. I can do the primary horizontal. I'm going to call that the GDP in trillions of dollars. And I'm going to go back to Add Chart Element, and I will do primary vertical, and we're just going to call that CO2 emissions in millions of metric tons, let's say. Okay. So I've added some titles to the graph, and I don't know that CO2 is a good title. Let's see, is there a correlation between GDP and CO2 emissions? Okay. All right, so we have it. So we have a graph that's a little more helpful to the reader, right? This is technically a question. Let me put a question mark there. Oh, it totally went away, didn't it? Let's try this again. Is there a correlation between GDP and CO2 levels? Okay, we'll do it that way. Again, the graph is now more helpful to the reader, right? We have an idea of what's going on here in terms of the independent and dependent variables. And so what do I need to do now? Well, I'm going to click on the graph, and I'm going to click this plus sign here, and I want some additional information. I would like a trend line. There it is. Not only do I want the trend line, I want to investigate whether or not we have a linear trend. And then I'm going to go to More Options. And under More Options, if I click on these rectangles here, I can go down to, notice I have linear selected. I can go down to Display Equation on Chart, and I can click on Display R-squared value. And I'm going to move these over and see if I can't make this box a little bigger. Wouldn't you know it, when I try to do something live, it doesn't work out. Could be the screencast is causing some of my functions to not work correctly. So I guess I'll have to leave it like that. So we have the trend line, we have the R-squared value. Okay, and I can get the R value using the R-squared value, right? I can just say equals, let's say I'm going to put an R here, and over here I'm going to say equals square root of 0.7788, and notice Excel gives me the R value. So now I know that I have a strong positive correlation here between the data points, and now I can make a prediction based on the GDP for a particular company.